up, guys? 806 English, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to save money and minimize memory when you're spooling up the reels. And right now we're in the backyard. Crazy, right? But I'm going to show you what we're working with. I'm spooling up 3 reels, and I'm going to basically just be giving you some more tips on how to help you with that memory on your line and stuff like that, and how to minimize it. So right here I got my crankbait rod, and then just the free reel. I don't use this reel as much, but it's getting spooled anyways. Got this one on the ugly stick rod, and that one's on the Shimano right there, as you can see. We got some scissors, the line spooling box. I got this at Cabela's. I can't remember how much it was. Then I got that reel and some new spools, Berkeley trialing, because I needed more line. So I got the 12-pound and the 15-pound test. Now let's talk about saving money. So as you can tell right here, this reel has line, and this is old line. This has already been on here for about 5 to 6 months, so it's time to change it. But the thing is, at the very bottom of the spool, the line is still new and it hasn't really seen much sunlight or been used at all. So this is how I'm going to show you how to save money, because I know that some fluorocarbon can get really expensive, up to 20 bucks and higher. This wasn't 20 bucks or higher, but still it saves me money, and either way, I think it's a good way to save money. Like I said, it helps spool some lines if you don't have extra line or whatever. So let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to take this rod and we're going to put the line through the line guides, and then we're going to tie it onto this reel and we're going to start reeling it up. So basically what we're doing is we're reeling up the old line, and at the very top of this reel is going to be the new line, so you can still use it. I haven't had any problems with it or anything, so I don't have to worry about it snapping or anything like that. The bottom line is completely new. So let's go ahead and talk about that. So right here, what I'm going to do is I got a roll of electrical tape, and I'm going to snip off some of it, and you'll see why here in a minute. Now I'm just going to put the line onto the reel, and you're going to now use the electrical tape and tape the line onto the spool. For me, it's a lot easier than actually tying a knot onto the reel. It's a lot less headache and stuff like that. I'm struggling here in the video, but I promise you it's a lot easier and faster than tying a knot onto your reel. It just saves so much time and a lot less headache. So right here is I'm taking the old line and reeling it onto the reel. So what's going to happen is I'm reeling up the old line, and then the very top will be brand new line, like I mentioned earlier. And as you can see here, all that line is old, but by the time you're done, it'll all be new, so it'll be perfectly fine. Alright, so there is the end result. As you can see, it's nice and spooled up. So this line on top is now brand new line. It's never been used, and it's been at the bottom of the Lew's Mach 2 reel. So it's brand new line, so you're not going to have like a bad outcome using it. I've never had a bad outcome. It's never snapped or anything. It's never weakened. Now the very bottom line on the spool of this reel is the old line that was on there. So I've never had a problem. You shouldn't have any problems. Like I said, nothing bad has ever happened to me. I've been doing this for several years now, and I haven't had a problem with it. It's just like using brand new line off the spool, except the very bottom of the spool is old line, and now the top is new. We're going to be spooling up this reel now. This is my crankbait rod. Got the Lew's Mach 2 on there. We're going to spool this reel up with a Berkeley trialing 12-pound test, the big game. And I've used Berkeley's line before. I believe it was the extra smooth casting line. I believe it was in like the red package, I think. I didn't really like that line too much. Or no, it was in the blue package. And I didn't really like that line too much. It frayed easily. I've heard a lot about this, a lot of good things about this line. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to be testing it. It's pretty cheap. It's like $6.68 at Walmart. I usually use Suffix Pro Mix. It comes with a lot less line, and it's like $5. But we'll see if this comes with good quality, and it comes with a good amount, and it's at a good price. So we'll see how well this works out, and I'll let you guys know. But for right now, I'm going to be spooling it up. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put it in here, and then I'm going to put it through all the guides. And then usually I'd pinch the line right here at the start of the reel. And usually some people don't like it because they'll usually end up with more line on one side of the spool than the other. As you could tell, I did it with this reel, and it looks perfectly fine, to be honest with you. I don't think it really has happened to me as much. So I continue doing it, but I haven't really found a good solution to keep my line at good tension, because in that box it moves around a lot. So pinching the line is my last resort, I guess you could say. But let me know in the comment section if you have a better idea of how to keep tension on the spool. That way I don't have to pinch my line. So now I got the Berkeley trialing big game. We're going to spool this one, like I said. And so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to put the line in, and then I'm going to put it on the line guides, because if you look here, these little holes, that's where your line comes out. Either way, I'll put some bricks in there so the box wouldn't move around, because that tends to happen sometimes. Anyways, I like to save this. Don't throw this away. You could use this later whenever you're done completely spooling and put it back on. That way your line doesn't really go everywhere, because sometimes line has memory. So you want to save this somewhere where it doesn't get dirty. Probably just put it at the corner right there, or just somewhere where you can reuse it again. You can also just use tape if you accidentally throw it away, but that's one thing I liked about that line, is it came with this, so you don't have to use tape. You can just use what it comes with. So, alright. So that's all that's going to happen. You put it through this, and it just kind of rolls around in there. This was made for the smaller spools. That spool is a little too big for that, so but it still works. I still use it in there all the time. Like that catfish line that I have, it's around the same spool size and stuff like that. So it worked perfectly fine. So I shouldn't have problem. You shouldn't have problem with it. Now you want to just start pulling your line out from here, and just start putting it through your guides and into the reel. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so as you can see there, from my other time I had line on this thing, I use the duct tape. So I usually like to, or the electrical tape, I usually like to reuse it. That way I don't have to recut some more. So then we're going to put on the reel. What you want to do is you want to put your line on that tape. Then you can pull that, and then you can tape it to your spool. This actually helps a lot, and you don't have to worry about, you know, reaching down in there and getting your line and tying it. This actually saves you a lot more time. So you can just tape it on there, and it works just fine, and you can just start reeling. Not the best way you should be doing it to keep tension on your line, but I don't really have any other way. So if you guys know of another way where I can do that box and do something to make it give me more tension on the spool, that way I don't have to do it up here, let me know down in the comment section below, because that would help a lot. So let's start reeling it in. So now what you want to do is cut the line. As you can see, we are done. The reel is fully spooled up right there, as you can see, and that's how much line you really want. That's how much I usually use. As you can see right here, the line's kind of making these loops right there, and sometimes it's a little curly. I'll pull up a picture of what that looks like, and that's because it has memory. Now let's talk about the part where I said that we're going to minimize the memory on the line. I already talked about how to save your money with the fishing line. Now let's talk about how to minimize memory. So basically, you're gonna tie your line onto the pole, or a pole, or a chair, or something heavy. That way, I'll show you here in a minute what we're gonna do. Now you're gonna basically click the button, and then you're gonna start walking back as far as you can. That's why I'm out here, because you need to be somewhere where there's a lot of room, a lot of space, and make sure that there's not going to be something in the way that's going to fray your line. Once you're done backing up, you're basically going to pull, and you're going to gently pull. You're not going to pull super hard where it's going to snap. Just give it a little bit of pull and just start moving it back with your hand. And now your line's going to be memory free. It's going to have a little bit less memory now that you've done that, and it really helps out a lot whenever you're rigging up your rod, whenever you have brand new line on here. Since we've already pulled it, and there's not going to be as much memory, what I like to do is I like to just reel, go up to the fence and start reeling with some tension, and that also helps you out a lot too. Now that you're here at the fence, you're basically just going to want to take off your knot here. As you can see now, your line isn't as, it still has a little bit of memory, but not as much as it used to. And in the eyelets, now it's not all tangled up on the rod, because sometimes what happens if you don't do this, it'll get tangled up here on your eyelids, and it'll get tangled up like crazy on your tip of the rod, and then right here, it's just free flowing, and that's what you want. You want something like that. It'll still get somewhat tangled up on the top here, but not as crazy as it wrapping around like crazy. I've seen that a lot. So as you can see, there's a lot less memory. That's one thing that really helps out when I'm doing this type of stuff right here, especially with monofilaments. This has so much memory. You know, it doesn't have as much now. It helps out so much. You start out fishing, and then when you're rigging this rod up with brand new line, It just minimizes the tangle and the worries and all that kind of good stuff. And since you also gave it tension while you're reeling it in, it also puts the line tight onto the spool, which also helps out a lot for casting and all kinds of stuff like that. That way the line's not super loose on the spool, and that also minimizes backlash too, or bird's nest, whatever you want to call them. There's my reel nice and spooled up. Now I'm going to take it into the man cave and put a crankbait on there. Like I said, it's my crankbait rod. I have this rod left to spool, but I'm not going to show you guys because literally it's the same process as what I did with that one, except I'm going to be putting 15-pound test on it and instead of 12-pound test. Probably should have filmed this video sooner, but the other day I went out to Walmart because I needed more fishing line, and I was like, why not film the video now? And it's a really nice day out here today, so it's perfect for a video outside. So yeah guys, we're approaching March now. March is in a few, how long is March from now? March is in a few days. I was talking to my girlfriend. March is in a few days. And so yeah, the spring is coming. The bass fishing is about to be really, really good. So if you guys want to stock up on some bass fishing gear, make sure to look up Logic's baits. They have really, really good looking stuff. I'm about to stock up myself. I actually have a bass tournament here coming up in May, so I'm going to be getting some stuff for that tournament. Make sure to check out Logic's baits and use AAnglers15 for 15% off on your Logic's baits purchase. And that'll be linked down below. Make sure to follow them on Instagram as well. I will leave their website link down below and their Instagram link. Tell them that 806 Anglers sent you. Guys, like I said, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helped a lot of you guys out there. It definitely has helped me. Anyways, guys, if you're new, hit the subscribe button, leave a like on this video, hit the bell notification as well, because YouTube does not really do a great job of notifying you if you do not click the bell notification. Guys, make sure to follow my Instagram. I'll leave it linked down below. And if you want me to follow you back, because I don't follow everybody back that follows me, if you want me to follow you back, send me a DM saying that you're from my YouTube channel, and I will immediately give you a follow back. If you don't do that, I won't give you a follow back, so make sure you do that. I also want to say one thing. Thank you to my girlfriend. She's right over there. She probably doesn't want to be on camera, but she helped me film a lot of this, and I just really want to thank her a lot for doing this. So thanks, babe. Really helped out a lot. Anyways, guys, that is it for the video, and we'll see you on the next one. Tight lines, guys.